Welcome to Profit 2020. Yes, we've been delayed, but COVID cannot put you off, or us, of what's coming. In real estate, what's coming is fascinating. PropTech is revolutionizing everything around us. Our session today is discussing the revolution, way beyond the evolution. I hope you tune in and continue with us till the end. I hope you'll be able to take with you something useful. I have one target through this presentation, to intrigue a thought, where you think and you look at where are we going with technology impacting our industry and our asset class. We'll talk about something slightly different than what you've thought about prior to this presentation. I encourage you please to ask any questions because this is a pre-recorded presentation and unfortunately we're living it virtually, or fortunately. So ask any questions and it will be my pleasure to answer as fast as possible. Enjoy it, and let's hope that you take away just a thought, a seed, and then you develop it further. The fascinating thing about it is what I want you to imagine while we're running through this session. Imagine real estate. Historically, the asset class you know is being changed, and it is being changed. And we will show you how will it be changed with elements of technology interfering or getting into the soul of what real estate is as an asset class. Around 20 years ago, the first time I started reading about real estate and learning about real estate, I read and learned about real estate characteristics of the asset class. And one of the first articles I've ever written was talking about real estate, asset class characteristics, and comparison with other asset classes, similar to stocks, bonds, and others. And in that article, I talked about advantages and disadvantages of the characteristics of each of those asset classes. So real estate, for example, advantages was that it's tangible. It's a great inflation hedge. Real estate as an asset class was possible to leverage. Disadvantages were also few. Non-liquid. It's a non-perfect market and an inefficient market. At the same time, you cannot dissect it. So in other words, it's bulky. This is all changing. That article today is irrelevant or is becoming irrelevant. Let's talk about real estate, the future. What's happening in real estate revolution, real estate 6.0. Today, you can have a property that is more liquid, a property that is more leverageable, and a property that you can transact on from anywhere in the world within seconds. Let me give you an example. Andrew lives in Canada, and Andrew wants to build a house. Andrew used not to be able to build a house so far from the city because the cost of infrastructure would make that house or that community a very non-feasible investment. However, Andrew today can live or build his house anywhere he wishes, and the only thing he needs to get there is a road, while all the other amenities are there, or the utilities are there. Andrew can build that house in 45 days rather than 45 months. Andrew can simply sell this house whenever he wishes in 45 minutes. And if Andrew decides to manage his house by himself or through any third party, it will be done simply or simpler than it can be done today and much more efficiently. And Andrew can have the visibility on that much more than he does have today or at any time in the past. But also, all the transactions that Andrew have done till the moment can be reflected online immediately within minutes. In other words, anyone can see that data, analyze it, and develop upon it future investments or future possibilities for his investment. Andrew is a happier man. While the person who bought the house from Andrew was able to see the house without Andrew being there, was able to simply put an offer to Andrew without Andrew being there, and without any third-party human being there. The process can be fully automated. The impact on our industry will be from many elements. the impact of IoT, the impact of tokenization, the impact of smart contracts and blockchain, the impact of the new ways to urbanize land and to build communities off the grid or having their own grid. This all is an impact of what's coming. So let's go back to the buyer who bought the home from Andrew for a second, and let's call him Muhammad. Muhammad today can simply see what's running in his house in a much easier way than he used to be able to. Can see the value of his house. Because real estate market is regularly imperfect, similarities between homes are not so obvious, and you cannot consider a property similar to another to an aspect that compares with stocks, for example. A stock, the first share in a company and the last share are the same, while this is not possible with apartments in a building or houses in a community. Muhammad bought the house. He can get evaluation on the house immediately with a much more accuracy than has ever been. When Muhammad decides to sell his house, he has target market of clientele that possesses $10,000 rather than clientele that only possesses $150,000. When Muhammad's buyer wants to leverage on that purchase, he can leverage 100x rather than being able to leverage only 75, 80, or 90% of the value of the property today. Muhammad can simply have more visibility of what's happening within his property. His property will be run more efficiently because he can control the atmosphere, the lighting remotely. Yes. However, today we will concentrate on logistics of this transaction. We'll concentrate on that sale because the impact of technology on how we buy, own, and sell real estate is huge. Actually, starting from building, how we build, how we urbanize land, how we buy, own, and sell real estate. That's a huge. Let's go through that. Today, you can be offered through tokenization, ability to have an asset that's much more liquid. So today, an asset that used to cost $1 million can be purchased, or a fraction of can be purchased for as little as $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 or $10,000. Fractionalizing or tokenizing real estate allows people of different dimension to enter this market that used to be imperfect and have it as a more perfect market, as a more efficient market, as a more liquid market, because it can be tradable day in, day out. Yes, that will probably suggest higher risk, but it will also probably suggest more possibilities for diversification. So rather than you buying a house in a community, spending all your $500,000 on it, you can now buy shares in 50 houses in 20 countries using the same $500,000. That's what we need to keep in mind. Remember, Muhammad transaction was recorded through a smart contract. Muhammad transaction was reflected online immediately. So Muhammad's neighbors can do better informed decisions and choices in the future. Muhammad's property can attract clientele that possess $10,000 rather than clientele that possessed $500,000. Yes, that will offer more diversity or more possibility for diversification, because a buyer of a property who used to need $500,000 to purchase one property can now purchase fractions in more than 20, 30, 40, or 50 properties for the same $500,000. Real estate, a $228 trillion asset class, bigger than stocks and bonds together. It's time to have a revolution. I've called it a few months ago Real Estate 6.0. This is what we're up to. In the new world, in Real Estate 6.0's world, you can purchase or build wherever you want. You can purchase as much as you want. You can purchase whenever you want. You can purchase from wherever you want. And you can find out about all similar transactions at any time. The possibilities are endless. What's coming is fascinating. Yet, while all of this is fascinating, some advantages that used to be characteristics of a real estate investment may not be there in the future. Similar to, real estate is a great hedge against inflation. Yes, while being less human resource intensive, that hedge loses some of its qualities. At the same time, a low-risk investment, 100%. However, a low-risk investment with 100x leveraging possibility may not be that low risk anymore. There are some challenges as well. The challenges start with us, stakeholders, investors, buyers, sellers, and professionals in this industry, as well as governments. Let's start with us as stakeholders. We need to adopt and adapt to the new world. We need to understand that we need to look and see that asset class in a different way. So I'm Makram Hani, and I need to look at real estate tomorrow in a different way. I need to understand that real estate tomorrow is not the same as real estate yesterday. I need to understand that part of it is a digital asset, or it's linked to a digital asset tomorrow morning. The buyers who are the moguls of real estate, who regularly buy real estate in big quantity. The market movers are regularly people who don't move with technology that fast. We need to understand that real estate, the grandfather, is becoming younger, actually much younger. Try to convince my father or yours that real estate has changed. Try to convince my father's name is Hikmat. Tell him, Hikmat, the real estate world that you know have changed. The land you inherited, that you own today, how people urbanize it, is not how they used to. People can go back to planting that land, and it will make sense now through tokenization. There's some companies all over the world, by the way, guys, who are doing now an amazing job getting that kind of asset class accessible to people like you and me, people like my father. So Hikmat today should get convinced that how things used to happen is not how they will happen in the future. He used to have a record of that transaction on paper, and he believed in that paper. That green paper will not stand anymore. We're changing everything around us. It is fascinating, yet it's challenging. It's challenging to my father as much, maybe slightly more, than it is challenging to me. But it's super challenging to me too. I need to adapt my businesses around what's coming. I own brokerages. So if you own real estate brokerages, your broker tomorrow has a different role. Your broker tomorrow needs to look at real estate, at property in a different way. And if you are not helping your broker to do so, your broker will live in the past. People who are looking at homes need to understand homes in a different way. Investors need to understand that the investment that used to earn them 8% in a certain way cannot earn them the same 8% in the future, but maybe can earn them 12 in a different way. All of this is happening in front of our eyes. All of this is happening while we're talking today. Governments should join this as well. And they have. Actually, the pandemic we're in have put us all nearer to technology and have made it essential for governments to move with legislation that supports technology. Governments will be implementing new legislation. Will be working on the cost of transaction to be smaller and lower, to accept tokenization as a reality of that market. Yes, some governments are regularly conservative in things that may change the characteristics of the asset class that home us all. That is considered a base of all stability. Yet, everyone is driving in the right direction today towards the future. Some of our roles will become obsolete. However, there will be new opportunity for all of us to benefit of. The road to tech is not cheap. VCs should move towards the future of what technology can offer. Today is the age of pioneers, and everyone should be a pioneer. Technology is changing so fast. What have occurred in the past and took longer time to happen will happen now in a much shorter space of time. It's Makram Hani, and I've been with you today from Prophet 2020. Keep tuned, there's much more yet to come. Enjoy your day.